So I'm back and I'm joined with two guest directors. Do you want to introduce yourself? And
Yeah. I'm Philippe Lupien, co-director of You Are Not Alone.
And I'm Marie-Hélène Viens.
So I watched this movie and I was like trying to place it because I feel like it fits in so many different genres.
Mm-hmm.
Was that intentional? I assume by the you're nodding that it was intentional, but like tell me about the genre you kind of thought it fit into and how it expands over multiple levels.
Well, we didn't thought of it to fit nowhere actually. We really just, because maybe it's the fact that we are two brains working together and blending together, but it always brings us into surprising places, even for us, and we never expect that. And so it was like for us the obvious path was this, even though it's not obvious what genre, what channel we use.
Right.
But for us, I mean, of course, there's a little bit of sci-fi mystery and all, but there's also a really big romance aspect to the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and
what it is.
we were like inspired by movies like Under the Skin, or
such a good movie.
yeah, or Punch Drunk Love by Paul Thomas Anderson, and all these kind of movies are Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind,
Right.
where there's like kind of romance, but there's like a strange romance, and that kind of inspired us to go deeper in the genre.
Yeah, and they are all films, when you think of it, that are not like the obvious genre.
Yeah.
They don't have an obvious genre attached to it. So
So now, obviously, working with someone generally is a hard thing to do. Now, I can't imagine it's easy when you're trying to bring an artistic vision to the screen, when you think of all the things obviously involved in making a movie. So when you have to work with each other, how many are there clashes in ideas?
Of course.
How do you deal with that?
Well, we know each other for a really long time, like from when we were teens, and we are a couple also. So that makes it like sometimes more easier, but also more complicated sometimes. It's like a mix of all this. But when our ideas clash, we just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and that's why we arrive on set very, very prepared. So we have like 99% of our clashes that were already like taken care of,
Right.
So we talk a lot, and that's how we prepare. I mean, we can talk for months about something,
and we trust each other. So it's like if the other he really wants to do something, and he's like, I need to do that. We trust the other one that he's maybe we have to follow this lead because there's something there emotional that needs to be open. So we try to be to listen to that and to listen to one another. So that's the key, I think.
Yeah.
Were there points during the making of this film where you felt like there was the frustration of like, I really want to go in this direction, but either through compromise or whatever, I'm willing to kind of take a step back, or we can kind of change?
Well, maybe not really. I mean, we really are, like, I don't want to sound cheesy, but we really are connected on our vision, beforehand. So that happens a lot actually in development, in writing and all. And Marie-Hélène is the writer, so that makes it sometimes easier because if I think something is not a good idea, or I'm gonna come to her really hard, then it's gonna be like not a fight, but I mean I don't know what to say in English, but we're gonna talk about it until it's really clear. But I respect the fact that she's writing, and it's like her words, it's her dialogues, it's her characters. So I have to respect that while she's writing. I also have to respect that on set, because even though I'm there and I'm reading like every tiny version of all the scenes, sometimes it's just a page or sometimes it's the whole script. I need to respect that while I'm on set, because she knows things, because she went through a process that I didn't. So there's that a lot in our
and the there were a lot of compromise. We tried to
Yeah.
do as much as we feel we needed to do, and like in editing, just like follow the characters, and they told us what they need, and it's
Yeah.
not about us, it's about the movie. So we try to not have the ego, like try to take the decision like the movies.
Now, whenever you're making a movie in another language, and I mean French is, you know, it's not as in Canada is not as much of another language as it, you know, maybe in another country. But is there ever a thought of like, you know, will this will it reach the people we want it to reach? Just because that can sometimes be a barrier that people don't want to overcome.
Yeah.
I think
Totally.
we think about that a lot, also with our next movies. But I think the first, it's like it's our French is like home. It's like
Right.
and so.
And it's just not French. I mean, we take a lot of time to find the sounds because it's Quebec French, which is different from. I mean, we have a hard time to be understood by the French people, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's important for us. It's our identity in some way, and but also, but this is. It's true that we ask ourselves, like, will it be able to go internationally, you know, and does the audience are gonna laugh, are gonna, you know, so it's all this, and even, I mean, but these are the same questions even if you're, even when we think about Quebec audience, you know, everybody's different, everybody have the different perceptions of things, so. Yeah.
And I think that's why we like to use music in what we do. So music is like a universal language, and this is like you can put all the emotion in music and be a little bit more open to a lot of people.
Yeah. And when it comes to just, I guess, the way that this, because again, it just, like, I don't want to spoil it because people are watching this, they've never not seen the movie, so I'm trying to choose my words very carefully here. But it just ends in such a, I guess, not sudden, but like surprising way, I guess, right? Like, I've seen a lot of movies in my life, you know, and I was like shocked with how it ended. And so like, was that like, what was the ending? What was the process to getting to that ending? Was that something, you know, that was like, oh no, this is how it has to end? Or did you say like, okay, let's try to subvert some expectations. Let's see if we can do something more creative with this ending?
No, it was really like it's John and Leo, it's their connection that lead to that.
Yeah.
So it's like John wants something from Leo, and he wants it so bad. So when he gets it, he's just happy.
Yeah.
So that's.
They can't be happy like if they're together.
Right.
John and Leo, they need this. The thing that we're not talking about right now needs to happen to set Leo free, actually.
Yeah.
And if this is what
you're talking about.
Okay.
So, how did you find your cast? Because again, like, this is a cast which, again, I was watching, like, this, it works so well, like, everyone just fits. Was that difficult for you? Did you write it with the people who ended up playing the roles in mind?
Yeah, exactly. I like to write thinking about actors, and I like to take from them some mimic and some smile or something. So this was the actor we wanted to work with, and they just accept it, and we just add our cast like that, and it was like we were so happy that everybody said yes.
Yeah, they are very well-known actors in Quebec, actually. So it wasn't like a done deal, you know. They had to love the script and be available, and they were, so we're lucky.
Now, I don't want to go too much down the hypothetical, but if they hadn't all agreed, would you have changed the story at all, or would you have changed maybe some of the, you know, moments in the film, or would it have stayed the same just with different people?
I don't know. I had a plan A and no plan B, so it's like
we're not good at plan B.
No, not good at all. So we just went with it, and it works, and yeah.
And it all worked out, which is great. And I don't know how much time I have left before I'm going to be dragged off. But okay, perfect. So I guess the other thing I want to ask is, you know, when someone goes and watches this, because again, you know, if you're getting someone to go watch a movie, which may not be in their first language, right? And even if you're you know, like you said, French is different, and why, like, what is your pitch, I guess, to what they're going to take away from the movie? Like, why would you want someone to go watch this movie?
That's a good question.
Yeah, a really good question. I think, I mean, it's a good question because it's a question we always ask ourselves, and you don't want to you don't want to be too precise on what you want when you're making a movie because it isn't your business. Like the you know the audience perception is theirs, and we don't have the control on that. It's our little baby that's gonna go fly and it's gonna do its thing. But I just hope people are gonna have a good time and maybe like I don't know, talk afterwards like about the film, but also about like the characters and what they represent maybe, because we are like there's things that we don't mention like clearly, but we try to be
you imply a lot of
and I think that the themes are like universal. It's like the loneliness and wanting to be seen by someone and loved by someone, and I think in this time you just want to be with someone that see you for who you are, and I think that this movie you can go there and just feel the love and want that in your life and go see other people and just not be alone in your house, and I think that this can speak to everyone, and I think that you can have a great moment for an hour and 45 minutes in cinema and not feel alone, just be with those characters.
And I guess my last question, and then I'll be done, so because I know you guys have lots to do today, but how does it feel to be in Toronto, like promoting this movie? Like, you know, it's
yeah, it's insane. We were so happy to be here.
It's
and
fucking crazy. It's like, I mean, we are so lucky, and we are so honored, because I mean, it's our first feature. The festival doesn't know us from the past. We never went to it's our first TIFF ever.
Wow.
So I mean, the fact that they love the film and that they selected it and that we're gonna show it to an entire room full of people that doesn't know us. Also, they just bought a ticket, and like it's a leap of faith that I think we're very lucky to experience. Which it's gonna happen tonight, so we're really excited.
And I think that the people in Toronto love cinema and just want to see good movies, and they're there and they're like generous, and we're just
especially right now. You know, this is time to watch good movies.
But I mean, the crowds, the audiences are like very reactive, and you can feel it that they really want to love the film that they're watching. So it's nice.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
And I don't know when this will come out in comparison to now, but like when it does, I will make sure all of the information on your film is in the description, so everyone who's watching or listening can actually, you know, check it out. Because I think it's a movie. I loved it, so you know.
Thank you so much.
It's coming out on theaters on October 18th.
No,
I think so. I don't know if it's coming out in theaters in Ontario, but I think so, maybe. So
I'll make sure I have the right information before I put it in. So, well, if you're listening to this and you want to know, just go look in the description. You'll know all the information.